So we are having this beautiful session of how sometimes our talents, our strengths, and the skills that we have are not used to the best of our ability. At least that's how we feel it. And so then we may punish ourselves and hit ourselves and feel very bad about that. And our strengths therefore become our challenges. And the story that I shared is that I can sew. I have learned how to stitch clothes, and yet I don't even like to sew a button on if it falls from a shirt. And so I sometimes feel very bad about that. I can write stories, and I don't spend the time to fully do that. So there are many strengths which I feel I have, and I'm not fully utilizing them. And when I feel I'm not, I get overwhelmed and I start feeling um, disappointed. I find myself having disappointment. So passing the torch now to Whitefeather, the question I asked was, what do you feel are your strengths and talents? And do you feel you're using them to the best of your ability? Over to you, Whitefeather.
Well, I started sewing when I was just little, when I was 3. And would just get fabric from my mom. She made shirts for the boys and just start making something. And so I've sewn all my own clothes when I was younger. I sewed my daughter's clothes. I loved it. It was like a real gift for me. And I don't know. I don't really have a negative about it. And so that's why I'm wondering if that's what I should share or not. But
what other talents do you have?
I danced when I was young, well, actually, even after I had my daughter, I taught dancing. And sometimes I get to the point where I feel like I'm not adequate enough. I'm not good enough in what I'm doing. And so I sort of not really lose interest, but I don't know. It almost feels, while I'm talking to you, it almost feels like something I do to myself, like second guessing myself. Sort of like what you said about the button, and you don't even want to sew a button on. But and that's interesting because that's probably what I'm doing in my age now, where I am thinking I can't do certain things. And it's it doesn't serve me. I find it doesn't serve me. I get scared about doing something that I don't think I'm going to do a good job on. And so my time with you girls has really helped me to okay, look at myself and say, okay, why do I feel so anxious? Or why am I thinking I can't do that? And so it's really been a help to be with women that, I don't know, you help stretch me. I feel like I want to do better. So I look at what it is I'm doing. And getting older, I sort of feel like I've lost the part of me that was always so sure that I knew what I was doing and needed to do it. And so there's a part of me that's not doing that as I get older. And so that's what I'm looking at, is what's happening in my life now. And that's my challenge.
Well, my mother sewed. I'm Tavita, and my mother sewed, and I sewed. I could sew clothes and skirts and things like this, and always did my own seamstressing and in different ways, or fixed a lot of things. And I have several pairs of slacks, pants. They need hemming, and they're sitting. They're sitting because I don't really want to do them. It's not that I can't. It's that I think as we're going through this new era, there are things that are more important, and there's so many hours in the day. And part of it is I don't want to do it. I mean, you know, and when I want to relax, I just want to chill. But it's not a challenge. None of those things are a challenge for me. What might be a challenge, again, is finishing this organization of the room, which I'm normally so good at, and not complete because things get interrupted. And I've become slightly, well, I thought that I was passive aggressive about it in a certain way because I had other things to do, and I'm trying to stop doing certain types of emails, which I've stopped. So the things that I want to stop doing and I'm not doing, and the things that I want to start doing, I'm doing. But I had a reading the other day because it was given to me, and I used to go and have a reading because just to make sure I was on track. And I couldn't understand what's blocking me, that there are certain blocks. And after this reading, it was like, yeah, I want to move ahead. I'm not to move ahead. Certain things are divine timing. So I have to give myself and surrender into that. The challenge is finishing the room. But when I had the reading, it was so incredible about what was blocking me. And I know that without her assistance and the assistance of what is happening now, I would remain in that block because the wall was so vast. The other things that were happening were absolutely right on target. As she did them, I could feel the healing. And as she said certain things, I went, I know, yes, that's true. And it was so far away. You don't realize the things that are coming in to block us from, because before, the year before, right? People were talking about getting rid of their blocks and clearing. And I'm going, why are we doing this? I've done this and I felt good. And then suddenly I hit a wall after COVID where my whole body was taken down, quite literally. And from that came that not moving forward. And I realized, so my heart is opened more. I'm breathing clearer. I can feel the energy sticks coming out. And I also asked what kind of technicals. So we use the energy of the outside plants, which Meenakshi always talks about. And then there's new technologies. These are just things that enhance our field. So I'm using, the beamer has gone into new technology from the person who designed it. It's called the Cloud, which I can sell it because it didn't cost really anything to sell. But you get to have it if you want more parts or anything else a little cheaper. And the Cocoon is a device that sits in the center of the house, which radiates throughout really a huge field, and it clears the e-smog. And what we don't realize is that I think I'm draining this out a bit, but I feel as we go on, there are other things that come to the forefront. We don't have to make our clothes. We don't have to do those things, but there are other things that are calling us.
Yeah.
I want to paint. I want to go back to my painting and my art. I want to finish my poem books. So what is blocking me on those books? Hi, Janet. What is blocking me on those things? And I found out. So using the cocoon has cleared the e-smog in my house. You walk in and it feels clear. It felt clear before when I cleared it, but now, because I'm using the cocoon, the energy's changed. Our energy's changed. My added energy's changed. And along with the reading, I'm healing that. So my challenge is accepting the healing, accepting that we need to, as work in thy name, that we meet other people on the path. We connect with them to bring that healing and that change in, not just through meditations, but sometimes through other gifts, whether they're physically technical or whether they're through a healing, through an exchange. And so I'm really feel that it's more my insights that are coming forth and my healing, but I still have the challenge of going through the rest of a few files and organizing them. And I could say, do I need them? And Spirit says, no, but my will says, I want to do it. So that was a little long, sorry.
No, that's fine. We are doing free flow. Janet, welcome. I know you may want to oh, my internet. You may want to settle down a little, or do you feel you're ready with your story? Because each of us has spoken about certain things that we feel are our strengths, but we are not fully expressing them, and that therefore can become our challenge. So do you feel your mic is muted, but if you would like to speak or if you want to wait a while, it's up to you.
I've had so many challenges in my life. I don't even know where to start.
What do you feel is your strength that you are
Oh,
not fully
I know my
expressing?
strengths. I know who I am, and I am a connector. I can, if you think of Einstein's equation, E equals mc squared, I'm the equal sign that can translate the energetic field into the physical field because of my many mystical transformational aha experiences and my 22 years of practicing law in Atlantic City, New Jersey. So I have the skill to do that. Probably one of the challenges is my intention is always to connect and exchange information with other people. And there are a lot of people who are stuck in their own little black box of conditioning, cultural conditioning, and they're terrified of letting go of that. So lots of times I either get verbally abused or trashed or kicked out of my family, for example, because people don't want to hear what I have to say. And, you know, I've learned to just go peacefully and quietly. Fine. You don't want me there? I move out and I find people who are able to connect and communicate and share and support, because that's the kind of community I want to live in. So I'm kind of redefining what family means.
That's great. I think
And I am
that
fully expressing everything I have to the best of my ability. It's never perfect. Never, I'm not in control of this. Something, I refer to it as a living, breathing energy. Other people call it God, higher power, universal energy is running this show, but I am a player in this, and I know that. And I allow the living, breathing energy, I'm going to use that term, to flow through me and out into the world in each and every moment, depending, and it's different depending on where I am or who I'm interacting with.
thank you. I think we should also say when we are complete, so I don't interrupt you by mistake.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm never complete. But it just goes on and on and on, you know, depending on what's going on in my life at the present moment. It's interesting because I'm in Flat Rock, North Carolina right now. Within walking distance of Seasons Restaurant, Tavita, which I think you say you've been to several times. That's where my little cottage is here in Flat Rock, making some amazing connections here, looking for property on which to build a peaceful, beautiful sanctuary retreat center and educational center and conscious community here in the Western Mountains of North Carolina. That I've identified 2 properties that would work. Haven't figured out the financial aspect of it yet. I'm working on that. Have spent a lot of time talking to people, and it'll come together, but I don't know how or when. And our TV show is, wow, it's really taking off. I'm not able to get really as good analytics as I would like to get, but we're getting, and all I can see is how many views we have on YouTube. But I am told that we're getting between 600 and 900. I don't know whether it's views or downloads on all the networks that they're streaming on. And we've just had someone come in and willing to host the show once a month for the next 6 months, which is great because somebody else just quit in a fit of fury at me. Yeah, it is what it is. You know, people are in the space they're in, and there's some people who have not yet mastered their age. I can't control that. That's not in my hands.
I think what I feel is right now, we've had one talk around, you know, each of us has shared something. And I think I'm getting the feeling that let's let it sink in before we answer the question which I've put in the chat. So I'm just going to play some music for about 2 minutes so that we let ourselves sit with our own story, what we have just shared, and see if something comes up with what is it within us that is blocking whatever we feel may be blocked at. And this time when we go around, each of us, if we can keep to a time, that's why I'm giving all of us time, because I'm trying to clear it in my own mind. Welcome back. You may see that I muted everybody's mic just so that everyone felt free while we had the music on. So in this next round, we're going to share, if we got clarity. I realized one day that when you're very sure of something, you can say it in a sentence. And when you're not, then you have to use many words. And I was thinking about, and I felt that this exactly is my block, because I have on one hand the wish to express myself, but on another hand, I feel maybe people don't have the time to listen to me. It's a little bit like how you were sharing, Janet, that maybe you feel that the world is not yet ready for whatever you want to share, or not enough people are ready. And so even when I'm writing or even when I'm speaking, I'll speak very, very fast, very, very quickly. And then I say, okay, did I even express everything that I wanted to? But I feel I did. I feel that so in short, for me, the block is the duality of wanting to express myself and also wanting to feel comfortable that people want to listen to what I want to say or write or do. And I got this feeling, this aha, while we all were talking, that yes, it is time, because we have reached that space. We have reached a space where we can find those communities. I feel very blessed. And as White Feather had shared a little earlier, that whether we are with 4 people or 10 people or 20 people, there are so many communities, even if there's one person. And nowadays, I will even say, even if there's just you speaking to yourself, which people we take selfies and we have our YouTube channels, we don't have to share with our birth families. We don't have to share with our social friends who are not interested. And I just want to share one little story, because this is story time. And that is how one huge thing, which I felt was horrible, became so wonderful for me. And that was when one day we were sitting with friends, and my husband, who never speaks against me, never, he's always we fight a lot when we are together if we want to. We're very open with one another, but he'll never speak against me. But that day, many years ago, he used to rarely go on Facebook. He must have had 5 friends on Facebook. And so he saw 20 messages from me. And those 20 messages had been written over maybe 3 months. And he said in front of friends, every time I go on Facebook, I just see Meenakshi's spiritual messages, very boring. I'm not interested in them. And it stunned me. I said, how can he speak like that? And that day, it was like a pin dropping in a still pond. It broke me into 20 Facebook pages. I realized it's true. The people who are on my Facebook friends page may not be interested in the things I like to share. So now I have everything from Sujok therapy to Samadhi, Golden Light, Gaia Consciousness, Gaia Minute, and so many other pages. And on each of them, I have thousands of followers, not as many as you, Janet, and and maybe a minuscule of them are on my Facebook friends list. So, there's such a beautiful world. And sometimes it takes a little pinprick from someone who loves you. And that little pinprick just shows you all the colors of yourself. That's my story. White Feather, do you want to go next? And that's what we'll do after our stories. If we pass the talking stick on, then we'll know that we have finished talking. So, or if someone's ready to go next, they can raise their hand and go next. Right there.
If someone else wants to go, I'm still thinking.
Okay, I'm Tavita. And the music, it was the music that just stirred me because I used to dance all the time. Many different forms of dancing, like White Feather. Seems we're on the same path in so many ways. And I haven't been dancing, and I've been thinking about that. Just putting music on to exercise and move with, which is also, I used to bring in music and dance with my courses. So it just reminds me that we are of the body, and the body needs movement, and movement with music, movement with the soul. And I am to walk forward with that music within my soul, which is coming out from the essence of who I am, to blossom into the fullness once again of who I am. And in that fullness, I become a light that is divinely guided at all times. And my poems and my words flow, and my art will flow, and my clearing up will occur when it's time, in it between other things. And every moment I'm working in that, every moment I am called to remain in that space of oneness, with strength, with my personal power. It doesn't matter what other people think of me. Like Janet said, people may get angry. Well, it's okay. It's okay. We affect other people, but if we're honoring our soul, for me, and I'm speaking truth from my soul, and sometimes my words may not be as pleasant to hear as people want to. However, each person can take it as they will, and they do, and they will continue. And so my responsibility, once again, is thy will be done. Thy will is my will. Thy will be done. Thank you.
Thank you, Tavita. I want to say one thing. Today is Mahashivratri, and the Shiva is the consciousness of within us all. And it's the consciousness of transformation that destroys to recreate. And that's what's happening. I'm just feeling this so strongly. And I think the reason why that memory came to me is because that little thing that Praveen did, which transformed me so much, um, was what I needed. It was that transformative. So sometimes when things, if people are blocking us from outside, there's really a beautiful path open, and maybe many, many paths. And if we are not seeing it, we really just need to open the third eye of Shiva and see it. That's the feeling I got. And you know how I said that we should also say if we get a insight about one another. So can I share one feeling I got for you, Tavita? You are so talented, and you've had such wonderful um, courses that have come through you, and you know that you freely give them to us to teach. And I think that if you don't care about organizing the room and just sit and do it, you will be able to publish the book which all of us are waiting for. In my room that I'm sitting in, it is so messy physically if you came, because on this table is my office work, my legal office work. That table is my co-creator. That table is my bookkeeper. That table is my office manager. And now and this has got all the intentions of people. And now every table has all of it. So, but within the chaos of the universe, you can be so still and just do your thing, just do your dance. You don't have to wait. We are waiting.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Whoever's ready next.
Janet Whitefeather.
And if someone has something about me, you're welcome to share. I think it's nice because this is going to be an interactive round. So it helps that we listen to one another's stories and we get insights about one another.
Yeah, and to me, a lot of it is about listening, even though I can talk a lot too. Refocusing on your question, Meenakshi. Did I receive an aha right now? I receive ahas all the time. And I am frequently blocked over and over and over again, even though I am doing everything right and doing what everybody else, including the, damn systems tell me to do. I'm about ready to strangle them. There's always, if I'm blocked in one direction, there's always another direction in which I can move and get something done that makes a difference in my life or other people's lives. I have had the most amazing synchronicities fly into me since I've been here, up here in Flat Rock. It's almost mind-boggling because I don't know from 1 minute to the next what my next, even what this day is going to be like. Depends on what comes flying in to fascinate me, to play with, to support, or to move forward with. And it's just, I'll give you just one example. I don't even remember how this happened. Somebody, a friend, reconnected me with a woman named J. Kim Wright. I know who it was. It was Ani Christie, whom I interviewed on our TV show last week. She connected me with J. Kim Wright, who is also she's a practicing attorney. I had written an article for a book that she published many years ago called Lawyers as Peacemakers. And because I am looking for land in the Western Mountains of North Carolina, Ani Christie told me, well, connect with J. Kim Wright because she is too. Well, she's not. I connected with her, so you could consider that a block. But it wasn't a block because she then connected me to somebody else who is looking for land who is actively involved with a structure, a conceptual structure called sociocracy. And this is a woman named Gaia Erlandson, who also is a very good friend of the woman who lives 2 doors down from me here in Highland Lake Cove. She and Kim Wright have spent many, many, many conversations sitting down with the guy who started Highland Lake Cove, Carrie Lindsay. So everybody knows everybody else, but we are not always together. We're not always on the same path. So when I let go, things fly in to support me. I'm complete. So you get to go, Wade Feather, if you have anything you want to add.
I'm going to interject because you're going to.
You're muted, Meenakshi.
Just look what I.
You're muted.
I know it's not letting me, it didn't want me to speak. See what I wrote as my third question, and you already answered it. You already said what you're willing to release. I love it. White Feather, you're next. But you answer the second question, which is whatever you want to share.
Well, you know, my life has completely changed. And I'm in a position where, as I grew up, I was the one that was supposed to hold the family together. And that was huge for me. I had 2 brothers, and so, you know, when you have this thing to do and you're in that part of what you feel you're supposed to be doing, like in your family or whatever, whatever it's from. And, now that I have 1 grandchild, and he's 21, and he came to visit me on his day off. He works for the school district for special needs children. And he said, I'm going to come and visit you, and we're going to have lunch together. And that's the first time we've really done that. And it was just made me so happy. And I think what I'm missing family, even though when you're growing up and you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, it's just, I don't really see my daughter much anymore. She's a principal. Everybody has their things they're doing. And as you get older, and I don't feel like I'm not useful. I just feel like there must be another place for me I just haven't found yet. A place to be with the people that believe like I do, because you're all, when you think differently than most people, just the average people, it's sort of, you have a group of people that are like you that you need to find or be part of. And I'm just not there right now. And so I'm so grateful I have this, Meenakshi, that I've found you and have people of like mind, that when I say something or do something, they maybe don't always understand me, but I have a chance of someone understanding me more, with how we all feel and what we are in the world. And I think that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to find my niche, from being the daughter, the sister, the mother, and what is it that I am part of in this part of my life. And I don't know if that has anything to do with what we're talking about, but that's how, I just feel like I'm taking care of animals. And so I I always have, and I love animals and I do walking and stuff like that, but there's just a missing. There's something within my heart that isn't being fulfilled yet. And so that's my, what I'm striving for, is to find my place, my people. So even though I could sew really wonderful and I made my daughter's wedding dress, and you know, I was a good seamstress, I don't have the desire to do that anymore, really. I do my Native American crafting, and I just think there's another section for me now to move into. And so I'm open to whatever that is, to meet that group of people and be part of that parade, the new parade in my life. That's where I'm at.
Okay, since you muted your mic, I suppose you said you finished. White Feather, this is beautiful what you shared, and I'm just loving that as we're listening to one another, you heard either you heard my question, or I heard what you're going to say, and so the question came. Because I realized a long time ago that actually the answers of life come before the questions. And what the universe wants to give you, it tricks you into making it into a wish. So I think I wish for something, but why am I not wishing for something else? Is because this is what the universe wants to give me. And that's why I think in the last years, we have been doing intention work on Co-Creator Circle, because so often we don't sit and put our intention in one word, or our intent, or and also our mind has so many intentions, but the soul has a very clear one intent, and that always happens. And I don't know, White Feather, the feeling I get is that you said two things. On one hand, you said you found the circle, but on the other hand, you want more. And so what the question then is, what you're willing to release in order to get more. Like, this is not enough for you. You would like family. So what are you willing to release in your life so that you can get that, you know? Like, why do you want a niche? Why do you want a family? What is it you want? What is the feeling that you are not having right now? Because in the end, we do everything because of our feeling. Like, I was feeling overwhelmed. I was feeling incomplete. And that's why I wanted to do many other things, you know? Yeah, and I like what Janet has written. White Feather, she has written a question. Yeah. Who are you?
Who are
Maybe
you?
the relationship you need to have is with yourself. That's what you meant, Janet?
It's just something that I have discovered as I've moved through life, and I've lived for 86 and a half years now, so I've been around for a long time with lots of experience. And you know, White Feather can take it from that, whatever she wants to take from it, or not. That's not in my hands. If it has any meaning to her, any you know, if she wants to use it, she can use it, and if not, she can discard it. That's up to her.
Well, I think the relationship like my daughter, we were like this because it was just her and I. And now I never can say anything right. I never do the right thing around her. And so I just try to be there for if she needs me, because it's hard to have that relationship with her when she's not open to receiving it, to having it. So I just, you know, like you just are there. So if they need you, you're there. You can be there for them. And I think having only one child, and she was my focus for so long. And I don't know, I guess I feel lonely. You know, that, and so the fact that my grandson came and was with me that day, it was just fed me. It just was so wonderful that he wanted, you know, because what 21-year-old wants to be with their grandma. And he was real sweet. We played games and we just had a really fun afternoon. And so that's what I miss, is having a closeness with someone that I can share who I am, or they know who I am and I'm okay. You know, with who I am with them. So I don't just.
So then here's my last question, because I know that Tavita said she has to leave in 15 minutes and I don't want us not to have enough time to share. Okay, Janet's written a question, White Feathers moved away for a bit, but she'll be back. So my question is, what do you do in your life? Do you have one skill or one talent or something that you can share with whoever may be listening, or with yourself or with ourselves? What do you do when you find yourself saying something many times which has troubled you? So I can say what I do and what I've been doing since many years. I realized that the one thing I don't, when I was a child, I used to grumble a lot. And my sister showed that to me. She said, grumble, grumble here, grumble, grumble there, grumble, grumble everywhere, which shows me I was really, I love that. I love it when people tell me what I am, because it made me realize that, yes, you know, I felt powerless to change things in my life. I was not happy with so many things. But as I grew, I realized something. I don't want to be a grumbler. I don't want to be a person who grumbles. In English, we say grumble. Here we say whining. So what I did was that I told myself, if I find myself saying something 3 times, I will change it for the 4th time. Because in me, I just knew that I can change my life. And that's one of the reasons I used to grumble, because as a child, you're powerless, but your heart knows that you're not a child. You know that you feel very wise and all-knowing. At least I did. And I think all of us here did. So what I did was, if I do the same thing now. If I find myself not happy about something 3 times, I will change. I will say, what should I do next? So that is my answer. What should I do next? And then I just do it. And I will tell you one more thing which Tavita taught me. And that was a beautiful phrase. And I share it with people, and I tell friends, if you complain to me about husband, wife, child, or whatever, 3 times I will listen as a friend, but 4th time do not tell me unless you want me to tell you how to change it. I will not listen. So Tavita taught me how wonderful. So I told her, my son does not eat. She said, how wonderful. He knows he can get pran from every cell in his body just from the atmosphere. So this how wonderful is a beautiful transformative tool. It is the tool that the baby uses, the soul uses when it comes to this world as a baby and sees everything as wonder. It is the tool that makes you realize that you can say one more sentence to show why it's wonderful, so that the mind is happy. So when I see something, when I see a gray hair, I really feel excited, you know. I say, how wonderful. Oh, I'm actually getting, I really feel excited that, oh, it really changes your body. You go to sleep one day and the next day you wake up and something's just changed. It is amazing. It's fantastic what's happening in this world, what's happening to ourselves. So that's it. That's my take. Those are my two tools that I use and that I share with anyone who is willing to listen. What is your tool, Janet? We have 13 minutes and we have enough time for each of us to share.
Well, the only place I'm in discomfort right now on occasion is in my body because it's really getting old and worn out. But yeah, what I do, I take care of it. I sleep more. I'm compassionate toward myself. And when I am compassionate toward myself and care for myself, it spills over as I am able to other people. So yeah, I don't sit in discomfort. I just don't do it anymore. I used to because I was so committed to other people's ways of doing things. And they are different from mine. And up to a point, I will support other people. I will listen to other people, but there are times I just have to get out of their space. And I'm kind of hibernating up here right now. Anyway, I'm done. So I guess what, Tavita?
Okay, well, that's hard to follow, except I found that when I went to have the doctor look at doing a knee replacement, and he said, you don't need every knee replacement. And I'm going, and besides, he said, knee replacements aren't like shoulders and hips. They're more complicated and they're never quite the same. And it's really difficult to go through. And I went, isn't this wonderful? And you just reminded me. I was so happy. I go, isn't this wonderful? And then my kidneys, and I'm going, isn't this wonderful? I have an opportunity to breathe in new energy to my body, make it stronger. I'm not dying tomorrow. It's like I have a new breath of air and I can be myself, and it's all great to be loving oneself, one's body, one's mind, and let it just joyfully go out and see that with everyone around. So thank you. White Feather?
Your mic is muted, White Feather.
So what was the actual question?
The question, what tool do you use or that has come up for you right now that you feel you can use or others can use if they're feeling uncomfortable or discomfort in their life or feeling challenged? We have to use tools. We have not been doing all this work so that we sit with discomfort. Why do we want community? It's not to share our discomfort with our community. It's to share our wonders. So what is the wonder?
Well, I live
And
in
I
a,
have heard you sharing, so you have it.
yeah, I live in a grandmother's mobile home park. And it's a nonprofit. So we do things to earn money for the community so that we can possibly put up another mobile home park. And it's for women. It was made for women who were widowed and had a place to live, so it wasn't so expensive. And so it's sort of, over the years, it's shifted. We have grandpas now that are also part of the community. But you know what? When I went there, I never thought I would be in a mobile home park. So I asked God, I said, what is my purpose here? Why am I here? And I've received this before, is to be the light, to just be the light for the people that are there. And so I I don't have a real relationship with many of them because they think a lot different than I do, but I have some of the frat girls there that are, you know, I go visit and we do puzzles together and things like that. So it's becoming, I'm making my community, and I give birthday cards when everybody has a birthday, and, you know, I like to give. So it's a place for me to be able to love people and give, you know, in that way. And I think our generation likes to get mail. We like to get cards, and we like to, I don't, you're younger, Meenakshi, I don't know if you like it. but but you know, have the written something from someone, you know, go to your mailbox and say, oh, look at, I have a card from so and so, and you know, and it feeds us, it feeds. And anyway, so I feel like that's my place there. That's what I'm doing. And I don't know, something's missing. I don't know exactly what it is. And maybe I need to open myself up more to spirit to show me what else is out there for me, so that I feel a contributor, you know, to society and to people, and know that I'm on a path that means something, you know, that has something that I'm giving to someone else. That's where I'm at right now.
Thank you, White Feather. That was very, I felt very happy when I heard that, because you're right. I don't think I'm that much younger, but I do feel that I have stopped writing cards because of, you know, paper, and you should be, because that's one of the confusions in today's world. You get so much and you want to be, you know, good to the environment and all that. But and then I have so many cards through the years, and I say, I don't want to throw them away, but then they clutter the house. So because of all those reasons, I prefer the thought messages and the messages which don't clutter. But it's very nice. It's very good to know that. Tavita is very good at beautiful cards and messages that she writes. And so I'll be more thoughtful and mindful of it that way. You know, White Feather. And let me say, it's not about age. My daughter, who's much younger, obviously, than me, she loves cards also, and she's very good at giving. Yeah, so it's something. You have to be very clear thinking.
Yeah. You know, schools, a lot of the elementary schools and stuff, they like to get cards that people aren't using or going to throw away, and the kids reuse them.
Yeah.
So, you know, just.
Yeah, I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So can we just say one takeaway, that like a blessing that we are giving to the world, and we just, because I feel this group is just, it's such a blessing, all of us being together, and it's 4. And well, I was thinking of doing a mudra, but I feel that will be too much. So can we just give a blessing, each of us? Maybe like this, maybe in the form of a lotus. Because I feel our cups are full. I feel we are so full of love. Each of us can give a blessing to whoever is listening. So can we start with you, Janet? Janet, Tavita, White Feather, Meenakshi. Tavita, do you want to say a blessing?
Blessing of divine light, which we are all carrying, breathing. Our hearts are open. And this divine light that we are, and this beautiful love, it goes out and it multiplies 10-fold, 1,000-fold, 1,000,000-fold. And we and along with the light, go out to find our spaces where we can light up others with our presence and our light. Thank you.
Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And blessings on everybody.
Thank you. Thank you all for being here. Lots of love and blessings and transformation into the loving light to all of us. Thank you.
Thank you. Namaste.
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 Thank you very much. This was wonderful.
Thank you so much, Janet. I'm sorry that you had problem entering, but I feel very blessed that you came.
I'm ready to strangle all the systems. They waste my time and they do not work and they lie. So, okay, see you, bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Nice
Bye.
to meet you, Janet.